So I've spent some time out here putting a little glass on the ground. I haven't seen anything yet, but it's a pretty lengthy process of breaking up the ground and then basically scanning and panning to try to see if you see a rock that doesn't quite look like a rock or movement that seems a little out of place. So it's a long process, and I'll probably spend a few hours sitting in this spot trying to pick it all apart. And if that shouldn't yield anything, then my next step will be to try to find another vantage point. So right now I'm pretty high up on a little hilltop, just below the hilltop actually, on the north side. And so I'll, kind of pick everything I can see from here apart, and then maybe move towards another area. But it's just a process of time, I think. I say all this like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. So it's just kind of what I think you're supposed to do. So we'll see if anything comes of it. So, I've been out here glassing for about 90 minutes, I think. Maybe coming up on 2 hours, I think. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe 2.5 hours. I've kind of lost track of time. But, so I've been looking, and I can't quite make out what it says, but I believe that I have found a sign that has been hung between two T-posts way out in the middle of the desert. So later on, I was actually planning on glassing from that area. So at some point, I'll have to get over there and see if I can't figure out what it is and what it says. But for right now, I'll see if I can give you a little image through the viewfinder. Not sure you can see it. Also not sure you can hear me. But that's it right in the dead center there. So, I was able to find out what this is. This is a hanging steel target that someone has made. From where I was sitting earlier, it's at least 600 yards. It's also, I'm pretty sure, fairly illegal because this is public land. And it's also pretty ill-advised because hitting steel targets like this can cause sparks. And in case you hadn't noticed, this is it's a great, really easy place to start a fire. So anyway, that's what that was, which was not obvious from the distance I was at. It appeared more to be like signage than it was, but there it is. And I was, let's see if you can see, right about right over there. Bang. So I've made it to my second glassing spot. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. I have just a little under 4 hours of daylight left. So hopefully here in the next couple hours, things that were otherwise sitting around doing nothing. Might start moving. Unfortunately, there's some side-by-side traffic that's close to me here, so that might not be good for me in the long run, but cross my fingers here and see what I can come up with. The wind isn't really my favorite either, so at this point I might just be, best case scenario is maybe I'll see something and it'll kind of give me an idea where things are going to bed down, and I can make some moves early before sunrise tomorrow morning to get in place. So that's where I'm at. This is spot number 2. Maybe not the best spot, but it's the spot I got for right now. Give you an idea of what I'm looking at. Pretty broad expanse. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how well this is going to come out, but right at the tip of my finger right there is a small dirt road that gets a little side-by-side traffic. So I saw some people road scouting. In fact, I think they scouted up me, and I kind of scouted them back. I'm not sure if they saw me, but they departed shortly thereafter. So I might catch myself a little mid-afternoon nap and see if I don't wake up to something slightly more interesting. So it's about 4:45 at this point. So I've got about 2.5 hours till sunset. So far, still haven't had any Javelina sightings since driving in this morning. Actually haven't had much of any animal life that wasn't a bird. Did see some cattle, but that's really about it. So I'm going to keep going out here probably till sunset, but as it stands, it's getting a little chilly. I'm starting to be getting the shadow of this mountain, and the wind's starting to get pretty cold. So it'll always dip down into the 40s here tonight, I understand, but it's still going to be pretty chilly. The wind's kind of making my hands cold along with this metal tripod. So in any event, I'm going to keep going after it here, but so far nothing too severe, nothing too amazing so far, unfortunately. So took myself on a bit of a walkabout after I left my glassing spot. And I only had that glassing spot for a little bit longer after I did my last video. I didn't make it till sunset, and I also had miscalculated sunset. I was looking at sunrise on my watch, so it was actually about an hour earlier than I thought it was going to be. In any event, so now it's after sunset. I went looking to see if I could find anything, and I didn't come up with much else. Found a lot of game trail, a lot of really well-traveled game trail. So tomorrow morning I might just return out here and see if those game trails actually get used, and if there's any Javelina on them. So now you might conclude that I must have slept all night, and this is me waking up my tent early the next morning. That's not exactly what happened. After I came off the mountain in the dark, or came out of the hills in the dark, I eventually got back to where I was intending to pitch my tent, and then sort of decided to make the relatively short hour-and-a-half drive home to kind of visit with the family, and then turned around about 9-10 o'clock this morning. They had a trip they were going on, and so they left for their trip, and I left for my trip back here. And then instead of heading right out onto the hills, I decided to get camp set up, so that way I can kind of go fairly late tonight and get kind of come back into a camp that's already set up, and make some dinner and be done with the day. So I'm in my tent at the moment, just kind of finished getting it set up. Thought I'd just relax for a minute and chill out. Though chill's probably not the right word. It's sweltering in here at the moment. The air temperature's not very high. It's maybe mid-70s, but the sun is very intense. So it's little unpleasant in here. So I'm having to kind of shed some layers, and hopefully it'll get a little breeze blowing through here and might feel a little bit better. But so that's where I am for now. And then in a little while here, maybe in a couple hours after some lunch, I'll head back out for the evening part of it. I'll probably leave here around about 3 o'clock. Sun sets at 6. So it'll give me about an hour of travel time, and then kind of give me that 4 to 6 p.m. window when I'm more likely to bump into something. Today I've decided I'm going to do a little bit of still hunting, which is, I've always thought kind of a misnomer, because it really involves not being still, but I guess you try to appear still if something sees you. So going to go out and got a bit of a hike to get to a wash, and then I'm going to walk up that wash and see what I can see. So, I'm out on the other side of the hill, and to get here, I had to come up a wash. This wash had a lot more sign from Javelina. I saw tracks. I saw some areas where they had been digging under bushes to kind of make some little cooling spots, like some little, they would dig down into the wet dirt to lay on those to cool off in the warmth of the day. I did not see any actual Javelina, mind you, but I did see sign of Javelina. Sorry about the wind. So I walked up the wash quite a ways, and at this point, I kind of walked around, looked to see if I could see anything. I did see more wildlife today than I did yesterday. I saw 2 cottontails. Both of them were hiding under some cactus, and I spooked them out. So they saw me before I saw them. That said, I did see something. And I would say the area looks more promising overall. I still got a little while until it's probably more their time of day. I imagine wherever they are, they're probably hunkered down and kind of staying out of the sun. The sun's really warm today. The breeze is quite cool, and in the shade it's very comfortable. But out in the sun it's pretty intense. So I'm going to sit here for quite a while and probably just see what I see. I don't know that I'm in a position to make a really good stalk. The spot that I have chosen to sit, unfortunately, puts me, would be a very noisy descent down to the creek bottom, to the wash bottom, to actually, move around in it. So I'll just have to keep my eyes open and see what I see. It's not really glassing territory. There's lots of little pockets and valleys and things. And so I'm kind of using my eyes, and if I need to inspect something more closely, I'm pulling up the glass. But as far as just like picking apart the landscape, maybe I'm just, don't know any different or don't know any better. But it seems like it's not quite open enough terrain to do that. Like there's too many things that are hidden from view. So, in any event, I'm going to keep looking and seeing what I see. Whew. So, long day. A lot of hiking. Unsuccessful as far as the hunt's concerned. Didn't end up seeing any javelina or obviously shooting anything or killing anything, but big long physical day. Saw a lot of country, saw a lot of things. Not as much wildlife as I was hoping for, so kind of not sure what I'm going to decide to do tomorrow morning with regard to continuing to hunt this place, or if it's just not the right place or not the right time or not the right place within the place or what have you. So I don't know, I'll probably go out for a light walk tomorrow morning, just kind of pack light and take it easy and see if I happen to stumble into something, and then probably, call it a day by lunch. But for right now, I'm getting ready to set myself up a fire. So the important question is, lighting's not going to be good. The important question is whether or not I can do this with a single match. And one-handed. Alright. If you could smell the naphtha that I can smell, or whatever that chemical, you'd know I was cheating. There's one of those little fire starting cubes in the bottom of there, but I'm not above cheating. Once in a while. So I'm going to have to feed this, and then I'm going to feed myself. And then that's our beautiful afterglow and setting sun. Not so bad. So, it's early, it's still dark, it's about 6. Sun won't come up for another hour or so, so I'm going to try to get up and get out of here and kind of give my last evening, or last morning rather, to the hunt here and see what I can find. Unfortunately, I was thinking about it, and I just couldn't come up with a new place from where I am, and I don't really have a good way to get to another place. So, nor do I know exactly where I would go. But in any event, hopefully this will help, kind of help me figure out something. I don't know. It's gonna be a little difficult this morning, but hopefully this will give me some place to. Hell, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing. I'm just trying not to waste the time that God gave me here. So, see what happens. I think you're getting a lot of wind there. Try it this way. Less wind. I hope. In any event. So yeah. Trekked out across the desert this morning. Looked to see what I could find. Still never found anything. Found a cow. But, found a lot of cows. Yeah. Overall, a complete bust. Not real sure if I was failing to do something that I should have done, or if the place is just not a good place. Yeah, I will say most of the hunts I've ever been on, usually I see something at some point and kind of go, okay, well they're here, I just need to look harder, or look differently or something. And this one, I don't know what I would have done different so far, but that could just be lack of knowledge on my part, I guess. Yeah, probably so. So I'm going to spend, it's almost 9 o'clock, I'm just going to spend some time sitting here up on this hill and seeing what I see for a little while. I don't have particularly high hopes. I've overlooked I'm overlooking areas I've already been in and out of a couple of times, so anyway, I'll sit here and give it a little time and see what happens, but this might be the end of the hunt. Well, I guess time out here is better than time at a desk, so it's positive in that way.